Hello and welcome to another episode where we are playing Foundation, and we're going to start this episode very excitingly by welcoming our 999th and our 1000th villagers into our city. And with that we have reached a population of 1000, which is very cool. And the job we're going to be focusing on today is to complete the labour pathway. So we're pretty close to being able to do this already. In this fourth tier, all we need to do is unlock the tavern kitchen, which I'm actually going to go ahead and do now. And this will improve the happiness of villagers visiting the tavern, which to be honest isn't a big problem for us. I think most of our visitors end up being pretty happy, and it's also going to use up some of our boar and cheese, which isn't great because we do need that for our own villagers' refined food. So we may not build this straight away, but that is going to let us start accruing labour influence, which we need to accrue up to the value of 50 in order to be able to unlock this city belfry, which I'm excited to build, and also smithing taxes and drinking taxes, which is going to help our coffers a little bit, because even with our jewellery trade they are definitely struggling. As you can see, we've got a trend of minus 136 over here. That is, I believe, like a lot because of how much trade we're importing. I'm just find it impossible to keep up with the sort of refined food need for all of our villagers despite building out many fields. So I think we're going to have to keep importing those things, and we're just going to have to find more ways to bring in money to supplement it. So because we need to unlock those progression items that are worth 50 labour influence, we need to try and increase our cap from 40, and I've just done a bit of googling and realised that the reason our cap is stuck at 40 is probably because we have too many taxes. And actually you can see on this page under the taxation menu bar, it tells you that currently all the taxes we are having a minus 10 tax impact on labour influence. Now I do have an edict in place which allows me to have one more concurring tax without penalty, but it seems like I have too many, so to be honest I'm probably just going to get rid of some of the ones that are really raking in very little money. And it looks like these windmills are not really giving us much of anything at all. And already that has increased our cap from minus 10 to minus 5, the impact on the cap from minus 10 to minus 5. And so I will go ahead and also do this churches one, although I wonder if that impacts clergy instead. No, that impacted labour. Perfect. So now we have 0 tax impact on labour influence, and this will be able to climb all the way back up to 50. Because I have taken away taxes, obviously this might have a bit of an impact again on our treasury. Our treasury just constantly struggles these days. I'm kind of just taking it that a big city has a lot of fluctuations, and I'm working on being able to sell more of our jewellery, which I'm hoping will help a little bit. Currently I've accidentally ended up with some of the jewellery in my market, and that means it can't be sold as trade, so I've stopped them refilling these herbs, honey and jewellery, and so hopefully these will slowly be bought by my own citizens, although I don't have that many citizens so it doesn't go down that quickly, and eventually we will be only selling jewellery to as trade and not to our own villagers because they're worth quite a lot. And I might go around and just promote, really not very many, but maybe just like kind of 5 commoners to citizens to see if they will go ahead and start buying that jewellery a little bit more often, although I can't afford it right now. So let's just wait to gain a bit of money and then I will promote a few of those people. There we go, we've got it already. Let's do all we can. So he will start demanding now entertainment and luxury goods, and so as part of luxury goods he might go and buy some of this jewellery from the market. And so while we wait for the labour influence we have to creep up to 50, we're currently at 29, why don't we have a go at building the tavern kitchen that we have unlocked just down here. There we go, and I'm pretty happy with how that is looking. So as soon as we've gained enough money, I will go ahead and build all of that. And we've got enough money, so we'll go ahead and build all of those things. And we've had a quest appear, which upon completion is going to award us 12 labour influence, which will take us over the 50 cap that we need to unlock the next item on the progression menu. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm that. And yep, we're up to 54, so let's come into here and unlock the city belfry. And next up, we're going to have to accumulate another 50 labour influence for these smithing taxes, and then another 50 for the drinking taxes. And I don't think we'll be able to implement them both straight away, because I think if I implement the tax, then it'll bring our cap below 50. So we'll just wait to unlock them, and then at the end of the episode, we will implement them. And it looks like our tavern kitchen has been completed. So as soon as we employ some people, they will start turning boar and cheese into tavern meals. And we've got 2 unemployed villagers, and I think I will only put maybe just 2 cooks in here for the moment, because I don't want them taking away too much boar or cheese from our own commoners and citizens who need it to fill their refined food need. And we should be able to add on a city belfry to each of our city markets now, so let's go ahead and have a see if we can do that. Here it is. Now I'm not entirely sure what it's gonna look like or how we should build this. Here we go. It's a bell tower and it's resizable. I wonder if it just goes... Oh, it's quite a big thing. Actually, we've got a perfect spot on our island to fit this in the middle here, which I really like. I might put it in like this, and then we can delete a couple of the trees to make it look a bit better as well. But I'm pretty happy with how that looks. We do need to give it a little door so that people can get in, apparently. Put that over here, and then I believe this building is ready to be built. And I'd probably quite like to build one of these at each of our city markets. I think we have 3 around the town, so I'll go and add some of those in other places as well. We can come and pop in a belfry over by this city market as well. And what this does, I believe, is increase the happiness of nearby residing villagers. So I don't know if that will make them kind of less likely to leave the town or something. Mainly I'm building it just because I like the way it looks. Quite like the idea that it could sort of sit in the middle of this building. I'm assuming that doesn't mess up any access to the stools inside. So let's go ahead and build that. And lastly, we can come and build one by our city market over here as well. And I think I quite like it maybe just over in this part of town, still kind of in the centre, or I mean not currently in the centre, but this whole area is going to be filled out with houses and businesses at some point, so that feels pretty good to me. And it means we've got enough space around the base to use this cool city belfry gate, which I really like as well. Quite like how this looks with one on every side, just like that. Let's go ahead and construct that. And our first city belfry has been built, so let's go and have a look at it. I really like how much taller it is than the other buildings, like it just really stands out against the island skyline. Very happy with that. This is also another way we can start providing passive heavy fortification that like looks a little bit differently to our watchtowers. We've been getting a few pop-ups about having no more room available at this inn lodging, and that is one of the ways we are bringing in money, so I might have a go at building another inn lodge just to see if that could also help a bit with our coin situation. And I might build it onto the back of this berry brewery perhaps. There we go, and I'm pretty happy with all of that, and our money's in a good situation, so I'm going to go ahead and build it all while we can, and that should give us an extra 30 in-lodge capacity, which will hopefully get us a bit more money up here as well. We are running extremely low on cheese, I can see, and fairly low on bread, and meat is just looking okay, so let's make sure we're importing enough. Currently we're importing up to 600, which is not quite keeping us afloat. Let's see if we can import up to 800 instead. That will cost a fair amount, but I think it is probably necessary to keep our villagers happy, who are complaining about both refined food and rustic food currently. And we have got up to 50 labour influence again, so let's go into our progression panel, and we can either unlock smithing taxes or drinking taxes. It doesn't really matter which one we unlock first, because we won't be able to implement either of them until the end of the episode. Let's go ahead and unlock smithing taxes. And now we will need to wait for our labour influence to climb again up to 50 before we can unlock the final element of the labour progression pathway. And we have hit 50 labour influence, which means we can go to our progression panel and now unlock these drinking taxes for the first time. And with that, I will also be going on to our royal book and taking a look at our taxation. And we can see we can now toggle on back on taxation for windmills and churches, and also add smiths and taverns. And now we've enacted all the taxes we possibly could, which I assume will have a bit of a negative impact on our villagers in terms of this sort of minus 13% for taxes we're looking at under events, but hopefully will be pretty good for our treasury. So let's see how that works out. And with that, I will leave the episode here, overlooking our new city belfry, which you have built this episode. And we have totally completed the labour pathway, which is pretty fun. The only pathway we haven't done any work on now is the kind of kingdom pathway, where we'll be developing our armies and defence. And so I think it will make sense for us to start working on that next episode. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.